ASML is a Dutch company. It's a monopoly. It makes the machines that make semiconductors. Its largest client is that of Taiwan Semiconductor. It's 33% off its high, and I believe it's going lower because of some situations that exist. And so I reached out to my team members and I said, where should we buy into this monopoly, ASML? And they gave me a clear direction, and I want to share it with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
This is my chart on ASML, historical chart. And as you can see, it had a nice run up to about $900 a share, came down to about 370, and then had another run up and is now being pressured down. And this is coming down because of the U.S.'s controls on people buying or selling chips to China. And that's what's drawing it down. What you're seeing is that the stock price moving against the yellow line is the 9-day moving average. The blue is 50 and the red is the 200-day. I owned Taiwan Semiconductor, bought it back here when it crossed over the 200-day, and then I sold it just recently when it crossed under the 200-day. That's a edict that I have for my portfolio. Anytime a stock goes under the 200-day, I sell it. I then analyze it and reach out and try to figure out where is the place to buy it. Well, what I recognize is it's finding levels of resistance. Right here you can see it's stopped pretty much with this level of resistance. My MACD tells me it's going to continue to go down. So my question is, where is it going to stop? I believe the level of resistance or support level is around $532 a share. So that's where I'll put my order in. What I then wanted to do, and so I went to one of my team members. I consider Seeking Alpha one of my team members. Let me show you what I found. This is the Seeking Alpha page on ASML. And what I wanted to do was find out their opinion and their situation on it. And if you watched my video yesterday, you know that this means they believe it's a hold. It's a stock that you want to own, but hold it for where it is. And so I decided I would look at the most recent article that anybody has written on it. And so I clicked on this and went to this. And I liked their headline, ASML, a fair price for a monopoly. And what the researcher goes in and tells you is what I knew. This is the only game in town when it comes, if you want to make the discs that semiconductors are made on, you have to buy the machine from this Dutch company that holds the patents on the process and controls 90% of the business. So then why are they going down? Well, he goes into some very good detail as to the makeup of their market. And as you can see, they're doing 13, almost 14% of their business in China and 38% in Taiwan. Well, they're tied very closely together. So that puts that number up pretty close to 50%. And then South Korea and the U.S. is at 9%. Then they're showing, he must be English because they're doing everything in pounds, how this changed from first quarter of 2023 to second quarter. And you can see that it jumped substantially. 8% of their shipments were going to China in first quarter, and it jumped to 24%. And that's when the Biden administration came out and says, we don't want people who are aligned with us supporting China in the semiconductor business. And that's why the stock is going down. But at the same time, we look and we see that their revenues are going up substantially, even though the profits or the orders were going to China. You can see the growth of their quarterly revenues. You can see the growth of their profit margins, and you can see that their operating margins are holding up pretty high, 32, almost 33% operating margin. So this is a very profitable company. What he then goes in and does an analysis of both a bear and a bull market projections as to what's going to happen with the company. You can see them here. I've analyzed them. I've come come up with them, and they've come up with a bear scenario of $534 per share, and that's why I chose that as my buy point, because I think under the circumstances that we are currently, the geopolitical circumstances, it could hit that low point. Then he goes into the bull case, and you can see here he sees a potential of $710. Well, if I believe that there's a possibility that both of these scenarios might come to fruition, and we might see, if the geopolitical situation continues to be what it is, it could hit that 534. So I will put in a 60-day buy order on ASML at 534, and then hope and believe that as we make a strong effort to bring the manufacturing through Intel, who is building 4 foundries here in the United States to make semiconductors, and they only have one place to buy the machines that they're going to need in those foundries, and that's ASML. And then Taiwan Semiconductor is building another foundry out in Arizona, and again, they're going to have to buy the machines that make these semiconductors from ASML. So I'm going to play the bounce or the drop down and then the bounce up. That's how I rely on my team. And as again, if you watch my yesterday's video, you got a very good explanation of how Seeking Alpha works and what a tremendous asset they are. And I consider them a part of my team. Let's talk about how you might become a part of my team.
What does working on the Best of Us investment team look like? Well, I got an email yesterday, or maybe it was a comment. I think it was a comment from a gentleman who says, I'm going to become a part of your tribe. I'm going to become a part of your group. I work for Modine, and I think I can add to your team. Modine is a company that is in the cooling business, and a big part of their business is providing the equipment to cool down the data farms that are being built and being remodeled and refurbished with these bigger computers that are going to be necessary to handle artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that's a part of a team, that we will have people who say, I know something about that. I work in that industry, or my son works for that company. Let me give you some information. Is this inside information? No. It's basically coming to an understanding of how a company works and what its future position might be, thus reflecting what its future price might be. How does that work? Have you ever watched the movie Billions? It's a series on Paramount, and it's been on for about 4 years, and it's just wrapping up. And it's about a hedge fund and how they get inside information through research so that they can make better investment decisions. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to do this on our own, because past history tells us, you just read the statistics, you did this on your own, you're assured of one thing. In the long term, you're going to lose. It's kind of the same thing you're assured of if you go to Las Vegas and play any of the games other than poker. But if you go to that big table with poker, and you're one of the smartest guys at the table, you're going to win. That's what a team in the stock market offers. So that's what I'm building. That's what Best of Us Investors is all about. It will only get better. And we have built some bus portfolios that are dealing specifically with the regeneration or the remodeling and the restructuring of the infrastructure of the internet. And then who is going to deliver this to you to make your life better? I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. Get on the bus and come join our team.